This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Eloise Phillips, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Wednesday, June 24th. Taiwan's lawmaker delegation arrives in Washington. The foreign minister visits the Polish parliament and meets with lawmakers. And the CDC warns of a possible summer COVID-19 surge, despite lower overall cases. But first, today's top story. A delegation of Taiwanese cross-party lawmakers, led by Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu, arrived in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, June 23rd in the evening. The group is scheduled to meet with US lawmakers on Wednesday, but no details have been released. The delegation had previously toured TSMC's plant in Phoenix, Arizona, and held discussions with the company's suppliers that have invested in the US. Lawmakers also visited the Taiwan AI Smart Health Showcase Center in Phoenix. To welcome the delegation, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Representative Office in the United States will host a reception for the Congressional Taiwan Caucus on Wednesday at the Longworth House Office Building, used by the U.S. House of Representatives. The parliamentary delegation includes representatives from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, as well as the opposition, Kuomintang, KMT, and Taiwan People's Party, TPP. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong was invited to tour the Polish Parliament, Sejm, and attended a reception with lawmakers and members of the Polish-Taiwanese Parliamentary Group on Tuesday, June 23rd. According to the Foreign Ministry's press release on Wednesday, Lin's visit to the Sejm marked the first time in nearly 30 years that a Taiwanese foreign minister has entered the Polish Parliament. The Foreign Ministry says the visit highlights the deepening bilateral partnership between Taiwan and Poland. Parliamentary Committee on Economy and Development Chairman Rafał Komorowicz and several lawmakers accompanied Lin on the tour of the Sejm. Lin noted that both Taiwan and Poland have endured hardships under authoritarian rule and have successfully transformed into vibrant democracies. He added that this shared experience helps both sides better understand each other. Lin also expressed hope that the Polish Parliament will continue to support bilateral cooperation in areas such as security, economic resilience, and industrial technology. After visiting the Sejm, Lin attended a reception organised by the Taipei Representative Office in Poland. Attendees included former Acting President and Senate Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Grzegorz Schetyna, former Prime Minister Waldemar Pawlak, Economic Development and Technology Ministry Secretary of State Michał Jaros, Digital Ministry Secretary of State Michał Gramatyka, Deputy Senate Speaker Michał Kamiński, and numerous lawmakers from the Polish-Taiwanese Parliamentary Group. In his remarks, Lin noted that Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister Radosław Sikorski had mentioned Poland's interest in cooperating with Taiwan during a foreign policy address to the Sejm in February. He added that Taiwan welcomes this development. Lin said that close economic and trade ties between Taiwan and Poland have already yielded positive results. The Taiwanese contract electronics manufacturer Foxconn announced a strategic partnership with the Polish state-owned electric vehicle company Electromobility Poland in May, while earlier in June, the Taiwan Electrical and Electronic Manufacturers Association, or TEEMA, announced the establishment of a science park in Miękkinia, in Lower Silesia. During his visit to Poland, Lin also attended the signing of a cooperation agreement between the Taipei Representative Office in Poland and the Casimir Pulaski Foundation, a leading Polish think tank. The agreement aims to strengthen exchanges in the field of security research. Taiwan health officials warned on Wednesday, June 24th, that rising COVID-19 activity could increase the risk of a new wave of infections, as recent data from China shows more than 20,000 cases per month. Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, spokesperson Zhang Shuhui said China's overall respiratory disease activity remains relatively low, with influenza and other viruses dominating. In 2026, COVID-19 cases range from about 18,000 to 26,000 a month, peaking in March before stabilizing. However, since June, there has been a slight increase. Tsang said,
China is fluctuating at a low level, but there has been a modest increase for 3 consecutive weeks. Compared with last year, the difference is significant. For example, in May of this year, China had over 20,000 cases, while last year it had over 440,000. Even so, with global cases gradually rising, we will continue to monitor COVID-19 developments closely.
even with fluctuations, China's COVID cases are drastically down. Although China reported more than 100,000 cases from January to May, it's far below the over 760,000 recorded during the same period last year. Taiwan's domestic situation remains at a low point, though the CDC is still warning that a summer surge is possible. Authorities urged the high-risk groups to get vaccinated promptly, noting that only 21% of people aged 65 and older had received a first dose, and fewer than 0.5% have received the second booster. A Taiwanese research team's discovery of East Asia's tallest known tree, dubbed the Heaven Sword, has attracted coverage in major German media outlets following a decade-long search project. After reports from Der Spiegel and Süddeutsche Zeitung earlier in June, Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, or FAZ, published an in-depth feature on the effort, which was detailed in the journal Frontiers in Forests and Global Change. According to FAZ, the Taiwania tree stands at 84.1 meters tall, about the height of a 25-story building, making it the tallest recorded tree in East Asia. The report noted that while Taiwan is only slightly larger than Germany's Baden-Württemberg, about 60% of its land is forested, making the search akin to finding a needle in a haystack. Co-author Dr. Rebecca Xu, an assistant researcher at the Agriculture Ministry's Forestry Research Institute, told FAZ that trees exceeding 80 meters are extremely rare and that the search was a 10-year adventure. The team of tree seekers collaborated with remote sensing experts from National Cheng Kung University and, using airborne LiDAR, identified more than 70,000 candidate trees. This was later narrowed through automated analysis and a citizen science project involving 372 volunteers. They created a database, an interactive map covering 941 trees over 65 meters tall, making it one of the most comprehensive lists of giant trees in Taiwan to date. To verify the tree's true height, the team ventured deep into the forest. They found a 50-meter measuring tape was insufficient, as the first major branch rose above that mark. Only after multiple field measurements was the height finally confirmed. FAZ also highlighted Taiwan's cloud forest environment at altitudes of around 2,000 meters as a possible factor in supporting such exceptional growth. A bus driver in Taichung is stirring conversation, this time for a positive reason, turning the inside of his bus into a relaxing cafe-like experience.
City bus doors slide open, revealing green turf, bright leafy plants, calming cafe music, and even an oversized stuffed bear. It isn't an exhibit, but a bus on Taichung's Route 306 between Jingshui and Taichung Station. The driver, surnamed Chen, decorated the bus himself, hoping to make a usually monotonous part of everyday life a little more welcoming. His passengers say it's working. One passenger called the decorations thoughtful, noting how much more pleasant they make the ride. Another said the driver himself is very attentive. In addition to the fake turf and living plants, Chen even added scent diffusers near the door and trash cans located on board, adding to what riders call a cafe feeling. The route operator said Chen has been working for nearly 3 years, with a good record and a reputation for diligently managing his vehicle. Drivers are allowed to independently decorate their buses how they please. So long as it doesn't affect passenger flow or safety, the operator says they'll allow it. Through his creative approach, Chen seems to have achieved the impossible, making riding the commuter bus a relaxing treat. Amanda Stevens for RTI News.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Eloise Phillips. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
RTI news, programs, pictures, and more. Online at rti.org.tw/en. Check it out.